What you wanna know?
What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here. Welcome to another episode of What Do You Want to Know, where you ask your questions. If I like your questions, I answer your questions on camera. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, so I'm not going to run my mouth, man. Let's just jump right into it, because I'll be running my mouth then, and not now. Anyways, first question. Amon Ra 1081 says, "Welcome back, Myke. I wanted to know what your thoughts of the Phil Anselmo White Power call at Dime Bash 2016. How do you feel about the apology as well? Thanks, keep up the great reviews." To be honest, actually, I don't think anything about it, because I don't give a fuck about Phil Anselmo. And if you people are still surprised by Phil Anselmo saying racist shit, I don't know what rock you've been hiding under since the 90s. Okay, he was saying stupid racist shit back then too, and I saw the apology and it meant nothing to me, again, because I don't give a shit about Phil Anselmo, or his backwoods ass opinions, or his backwoods ass shitty music, or his backwoods ass jackass fans who defend his backwoods ass statements tooth and nail. So the real question is, why the fuck does anyone care about anything that comes out of Phil Anselmo's mouth in 2016? And I mean that in terms of general statements as well as vocally in bands. Seriously, as a general rule, fuck that guy. Second question. D-Trex says, "What happened to the Cudi What Do You Want to Know video?" D-Trex, I took that video down and I probably will not be putting it back up. The reason it's down is because it started off as a joke. You know, I seriously thought the album was complete garbage, as a lot of people did. Then I ended up getting like 5 or 6 comments asking me to give my thoughts on it, and I just thought, you know, what the fucking hell, man. The album was so piss poor that I couldn't think of anything at all critical to say about it, so I just filmed myself making fun of it for 10 minutes. But there's a reason that it was not an official Dead End Hip Hop solo album review. There wasn't a real point in doing that. The album was so bad, all I wanted to do was make fun of it. It actually got the most views out of any video that I've ever done, but the majority of the comments were just really nasty. And not so much against me, but against Cudi, and then against each other. There wasn't any actual discourse going on between people. It was just, you know, if you like this, you're a faggot. Or if you don't like this, you're a faggot. So it got old. I got sick of getting the notifications that there was a new comment where someone was just being a dick. So I just took it down. I started to feel a bit bad that what was a clear joke to me turned into this scathing attack on a man's character, because then it turned into he's depressed and he's reaching out for help and you're just making fun of him, or he's suicidal and he's crying out for help and you're making fun of him. What if he kills himself over this? Of course, I don't think anything like that would actually happen, even if he did ever see my video, which I'm sure he probably didn't. But I figured I'd be better off just getting rid of the video, because I just got tired of seeing the negativity floating around on my page, you know, all due to this one video. The thing is, you know, I like having conversations and debates with people in my comment section over music, but that wasn't really what was happening in this video. It was mostly just personal attacks back and forth. And looking back on it, that's not what I want my channel to be. You know, I don't make videos just so I can get a whole bunch of views. You know, if that was the case, I wouldn't have taken down the most watched video on my channel ever. But the thing is, I make these videos so we can all kind of share something with each other, whether it's new music, or it's our opinions about music, or it's our opinions about whatever issues that we talk about, or movies, just anything. But I don't want to promote a gang of negativity or blind shitting on people's projects. So I took it down, and I highly doubt that I'll ever put it back up. It's just not worth it to me. So I'm sorry if you guys got a kick out of the video. We'll always have our memories, you know. Third question. Ian PDMA says, "Hey Myke, there seems to be this strange paradigm that's emerged in music today in which a few voices present mostly original opinions on emerging art, and then those opinions just get parroted, lemminged, copied to death by the masses. I'm specifically talking about the Needle Drop and Pitchfork, but DHH might be part of this model, unfortunately. It seems like it's become too easy for people not to be expected to form their own opinion on a work, and one might seem weird for going against the industry consensus on a given artist or album. It's weird when such a handful of people have so much influence over whether or not an artist succeeds or not in the underground." Thoughts on this problem? Hopefully this hasn't been asked before, and hopefully this is the right place to ask. I don't use Tumblr really. Yes, this is the right place to ask, and no, this has not been asked before. And actually, I'm not really quite sure what you're asking me, but I'll take a stab at this. It sounds like you're saying that a few specific people may give a statement on an album, and then a lot of other people just take that opinion and kind of present it as their own. But I'm not sure if you're talking about common people or other music critics. If you're talking about common people, yes, I absolutely do see that. People are terrified of going against the grain. If there's a band that everyone says you're supposed to like in order to be considered an actual fan of whatever genre that band comes from, and you say you don't like them, then there's a huge issue. Like, I don't care for the Rolling Stones, so if I talk to someone about rock and roll, then of course there's a big issue. I think fucking Megadeth is absolutely ass-awful, shitty garbage. So people into metal might have a huge issue with that. I didn't jump up and down and declare that Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly was the best hip-hop album to come out since Criminal Minded. Even though I said it was a great project, rap dudes lost their minds. That's just something that happens. People just want to have their opinions validated. I see it daily. They want to feel correct in saying that something is good or bad. Music opinions have become this weird, like groupthink activity than just something that just is. It's so bizarre. There's no way to factually prove a subjective idea, so I don't understand where this whole thing comes from. And if you try to do this, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Repeating some critic, aka an average dude with an inflated ego, and repeating their opinion on an album doesn't make you sound smarter, it just makes you sound like more of a sheeple. And yes, when I say an average dude with an inflated ego, I am including myself in that group. And that's not an insult. We are just people that love music and we feel like our opinions should be heard. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, if you're talking about other critics ripping off each other's statements, then yes, I see that happening a bit as well. And first off, let me start by saying there's only a few actual album reviewers that I even pay attention to. Of course, I watch Fantano's videos, I watch some of Spectrum Pulse's videos, I check out some of the writers on the Dead Hip Hop website. I watch some Josh Armijo stuff. I read some of Richard Owens stuff, some of Jack McKeever's stuff, but that's kind of it. And to be honest, I don't even watch all of their stuff. I don't even read all of their stuff. It's just, the ones that I'm curious about, or, ones for albums that maybe I've never heard of. But for the most part, I don't take reviews too seriously. But I do know there's this weird reviewing culture out there that thinks it's necessary to present some sort of united front when it comes to making a judgment call on a musical project. And I think that that's really bizarre. Like, Spin may not want to say something completely different than what NME said, and they might not want to say something completely different than what Rolling Stone says, and so on and so forth. And it's almost like they want to be able to be a part of this general statement of, well, critics liked it, or, well, critics hated it. They don't want to say, well, these guys liked it, but hey, we thought it was alright. I don't know how these publications really work. I don't know if they draw names from a hat, to see who gets to review what, or if they actually pick which review goes up and represents them as a whole and as a publication. Because, when a review is done, it's never said that, let's say, Brian Jackson from Pitchfork hated this album. It's always Pitchfork hated this album, and I think that's really stupid, but that's another issue altogether. What do I think of the problem? Honestly, I don't care. And I'm not trying to be a dick, it's just, I think that reviews should only be used to show what that particular person thought of a piece of music. That's it. It's not some factual way of proving or disproving the quality of someone's music. And that's a huge issue with how reviews are consumed. I see so many people who get so upset when a publication such as Dead End Hip Hop, or myself on my personal channel, presents a different opinion about an album than one that they might have. Rather than being an intelligent and rational human being and simply saying, that person's not me, that person does not share my brain, that is that one person's opinion on an album, they jump to prove their musical opinion is wrong, and that's such a waste of fucking time. Just watch the review, because some of us who are music nerds, we might pick up on something that you may not have caught, and we might just present an idea about an album that you may not have thought about, but that's really all that they should be for. They're not to prove your opinion right or wrong, because it's your opinion and your opinion alone, and no one can tell you if you like something other than you. So I'm not sure that I answered your question. Probably not, and I'm sorry. I just think that people take music reviews a bit too seriously. And what's funny is that I think that what's almost more important than the review itself is what falls into the comment section of the video or article that contains the review. See what the majority of the people are saying about the album if you actually care. It's not always up to that one person in the video or that one person that wrote the article. So yeah, that's kind of it, I guess. Sorry. So that's it for this edition of What Do You Want to Know? If you have a question that you want me to answer, you can submit them through my Tumblr. You can send them to me on Twitter by hashtagging WDYWK, or you can put them on my YouTube discussion board. That's it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I will see you guys next time. Alright?